Mackenzie Gotiks to Mackenzie Dick Rides your favorite anime. Welcome to a Gintama extended cut. This is an extended cut to my live reaction for episode 327 of Gintama. Now, this has become very contentious for me, so I thought this would be a good idea for a video because I've had a debate on Twitter with people after watching episode 327. So if you saw my reaction to episode 327 of Gintama, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, stop now, go watch my reaction because there's spoilers in this video. Go check it out and then come back here to discuss it. Now, my issue is when I reviewed Gintama 2015, everything of Gintama up until 2015, in my review, Oboro was in my top 5 characters. Now, I loved Oboro's stoicism, I loved his loyalty, I loved that he believed what he was right. There were many factors about why I loved Oboro. One of them wasn't the fact that he had a sympathetic backstory or he had any sort of intimate connection with prominent figures within Gintama. Now, my issue with Gintama 327 is I feel as though his particular arc for how significant he is to Shoyo in the story as the first student was wrapped up too neatly in a bow, and it was too condensed, and there wasn't enough time focused on him. Because we know in Rakugo arc, Kamui's resolution, he has been given time to settle. They've given a lot of backstory, a lot of moments to settle. Now, Oboro's one of my favorite characters, and I don't blame people that Oboro's not supposed to be this giant character within the show. Or maybe he is, or maybe that's how it's presented in the anime. But I feel as though there was an emotional manipulation of the audience. I found myself not as emotionally invested in Oboro's, outcome as possible. Now, I was having debates on Twitter, people. Some people said, oh, I saw that scene. I saw Oboro's kind of flashback and backstory as him trying to spite the Patriots. Trying to spite the Patriots after Shoyo went on to, I guess, without him, leave him and go on and create another school of students and that kind of thing. And in a way that he did it to spite him. Now, the problem with this, they painted that scene very sympathetically with the music cues, with the kind of long lingering shots. They sometimes painted it like Spielberg often emotionally manipulates the audience with music cues and lingering shots. He's constantly trying to tell the audience that, look, you should be feeling sorry for him. I thought, and you can disagree if you want, that they painted that too sympathetically. Now, the reason I like Oboro, well, none of those reasons. I don't think every single villain in Gintama needs this backstory. And what I said in my review of Gintama up until 2015 is Gintama falls into this formula where they'll give the villain or an antagonist a backstory. Whether you agree Oboro's a villain, antagonistic character or not is up to you. But for the most part, he is, given what he's done. They fall into this category where they'll, right at the last minute, they'll do some heinous shit, cut people up, kill people, but right at the last minute, just before the guy exits the show, is all I'll say, they give you this backstory for this. And I feel as though not every character needs a backstory. Now, people are arguing that no, that wasn't supposed to be a redemptive moment for him. That was meant to show his relationship with Utsuro and what drove him. But in a way, the way Sunrise did it, they want to say that he thought he was right. He thought he was right doing what he did because Utsuro went off and so on. The way they painted that image, him walking down the street alone and Shoyo laughing with the Joey Patriots, they legit tried to paint that sympathetically. I don't agree that it was not meant to be sympathetic. That was a selfish action from Oboro. Sunrise painted it sympathetically. Now, maybe it's Sunrise's fault. Maybe that's not how it was painted in the manga. Maybe it was painted differently. But my issue is, I love that character. I felt not enough time was given to him. But I'm not going to criticize it on that because I know they've got a lot to juggle and they're finishing it. And this was a tying up point for lots of things, which I loved. I thought there was god tier moments in this friggin' arc. 3 to 4 god tier moments. It's also one of my favorite arcs. So you know better than most people that I love Gintama. But this is Mackenzie Critiques, not Mackenzie Dick Rides. And if I say something that bugs me personally, I will say it. And this is one thing that bugged me. And it's also a continuation of a thread that's gone on since Gintama came, where Jirocho had that very same. Obviously, Jirocho walked off into the sunset. Whether someone falls into a coma or dies or walks in the sunset, it's basically a semi-exit from the show, with the exception of Takasugi. Jirocho, Obi-Wan had that. Hosen, to the extent, actually said that Hosen had probably the most well-rounded, least redemptive death, because Hosen was not a nice guy. Like, I don't think they ever painted him as a nice guy, and that's okay because that differentiates him from people. Jiraiya was also kind of mentally kind of deluded and was basically a nutcase. Now, as much as I don't like the Red Spider arc, I do feel as though his they didn't lay on thick like Spielberg lays on thick. Yeah, feel sorry for this guy. Feel sorry he did it because he thought he was right. He lays on thick. I feel as though because this is a wrapping up not only for these characters but the series, that wasn't the right thing to do, and it also wasn't the right thing to do to make Utsuro a one arc villain. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though this Utsuro stuff came up right at the end. I wish there'd been threads to it throughout. Now people go back to the whole Maidens arc, the Temple Maidens arc with the Sadaharu's arc, where he has his own arc, and they say Altana was a thing. I love that. I love the world building elements to that. But I feel as though that was another criticism, that it sort of seems to have been lumped into this one arc villain. You know, and I know threads have been placed throughout, but the developments of it sort of in relation to Altana and that stuff seem to have been done. And I feel as though maybe I said in my reaction that maybe each time he comes back, you know, through Altana and that kind of thing, there's less of him left, you know, and that gave me good development on how Shoyo's been throughout these beats within his life, you know, back, you know, with the when you're being hunted first, and then actually, you know, I understand Oboro's backstory, but I feel as though too little time was given on it. I felt as though, for the sake of shoving it into this arc and wrapping it up, it was painted slightly differently. That's not why I like these characters. Like, Spider-Man does this a lot. It gives every villain, no matter how nefarious and bad, this sympathetic backstory. And we don't need to do that. I feel it undermines what I love about that character. I didn't want Oboro to fall into this sympathetic thing, that he's a lonely little kid who got left, who literally felt like an abandoned first student, abandoned child in a way. And I guess these are the sins that I guess he actually casts more light on Shoyo. You know, Shoyo's not completely without sin, and he is full of sin. I mean, you know, his life has been kind of good and bad, and it's about more redemption for Shoyo. But you let me know what you guys think. I felt as though that's not why I like these characters. That's not why I liked Hosen. Jirocho, I could buy it because Jirocho had an intimate connection with his daughter, and it was also they explored it throughout the entire arc. But I feel as though Oboro, we haven't seen much of him, and to lay that on us just before he dies, which is what Gintama does, it lays on thick this emotional. At least Sunrise do it just before guy exits. I'm like, it's too little, too late, man. And then they keep doing this. You know, 4's enough. 4's enough villains for me to be like, okay, I see what Gintama does, and I know that Gintama's not about, you know, two-dimensional villains. But I feel as though you can't always apply that philosophy to every single villain. You can't do that because it feels like I'm seeing the same thing over and over again. Now, someone also said that to me, like, look, better they did it this way than that way. But I love Oboro. You know he's fucking my top 5. You know how much I love that character. But I loved him for his reason. I loved the Yakugarasu. There's mystery. There's this ethereal quality to him. But when he was kind of dumbed down to minion side character level, then I feel as though to give him this is maybe a bit too laying on thick for what he'd been relegated to. But, you know, I still enjoyed it. I think Rakugo is one of my favorite things. I think it has the most god tier scenes of any arc I've seen. I feel it's a great way. Kamui, everything, the resolution, Takasugi waking up, all that shit. But because I like Oboro so much is the issue. So let me know what you guys think, man, with the extended cut. I hope you don't think my criticism are unwarranted. I hope you guys wouldn't be like the Hunter crowd I had. Come on, man. You know me, fam. I'm with you guys. You Gintama fan like family, fam. You know, you've been with me since fucking 4 channels ago, man. And you knew a time would come where I would think nothing goes with blind praise forever, man. Like, there are things to criticize. And I've criticized a lot, and you know me by now, people. You know how I roll, man. You know, so that was my gripe. I mean, I'm not saying it should be a gripe for everyone, but I feel as though, you know, Spielberg, while he's an amazing guy, Sarachi, while he's an amazing guy, can lay on a bit too thick for some characters. With the reason we love certain characters, and someone made a really excellent point. It would be like if Crollo or Hisoka were to die in Hunter x Hunter, and they gave him a sob story, or an emotionally tinged story, which isn't necessarily emotional. Sunrise painted emotion. I feel as though this might be Sunrise painting it with the music cues and the lingering a bit too emotionally, when it was a very selfish act for Bodo, his motivations. It would be like giving Crollo and Hisoka thing. That would undermine the character. It would underserve and undermine that character and what we find fascinating about them. So let me know what you think. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter for the latest live reactions and updates. Those details in the description box below. Click the icon on the bottom right to subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.